See if you can see it for now. Toronto, Canada, Atlanta, ATL. You ain't too far away. I never see a live. Well, there you go, Luann. We're here. Can you see
Hey,
him?
there we go.
You can see him now.
Yeah, I can see him now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I went out of it and went ahead and like updated the app. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
So yeah, Instagram. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all don't know. This is Mr. My followers. I know some of your followers on here too. So this is Mr. Ben Taylor, aka Raw Motivations. He's another self-aware narcissist, preaching growth, healing. He coming from the Christian side of things. Just doing Ben is doing his thing, y'all. Growing on all platforms. He's doing his thing, y'all. Happy to see the growth.
You got 2 of the 4: awareness, growth, healing, and change. You got 2.
Okay, there you go. I knew I was missing something. I would just talk and let you fill in the blanks.
No, that's awesome. I mean, shows that what I'm saying is going out there and people are remembering it. So it's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad this is so dope. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Chris Cassidy says hi, Ben. So you see the same thing I see? You see the same thing I see?
Yeah, I see them now. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right.
Now I can actually see them together. Yeah.
Tonight, y'all, we're doing a question and answer. We're gonna have some guests on. If y'all want to be a guest on here for a few minutes, we'll try to keep. If you become a guest on here, try to keep it to a few questions so we can get in and out, just moving forward. And if you don't know, we're gonna save this and post it on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that too. So y'all will get to see it here. So if y'all want to send a request to be on here, we can. No, we did not coordinate our church, y'all. It was just like by chance. I know what y'all thinking. Y'all like, okay, y'all, my narcissist like blue too, so y'all must be narcissists. Yeah. My narcissists love blue shirts, so that's all they needed to know. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That was the sign I
So
needed.
they can actually do a request and have a third person or not?
Yeah, you can do I think you can do it to 4 now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been live on Instagram in a while, just because I used to go live whenever I do like my Thursday night lives. I'd go live with another device, and then that one got kicked out of Instagram and like wouldn't go back on, so I like stopped.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just left a 33-year marriage. Woo!
Ooh.
Abused marriage. That's powerful right there. Are you the one who's on? Jen, are you on? Did you post a video on TikTok about leaving that marriage? Somebody's going like a few pretty viral doing that. Leon Walker, what's going on, man? How you doing? Oh, Leon Walker's another self-aware narcissist. I've been seeing his video. I just follow him on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna invite the first guest on here. Yeah, just a couple questions. We'll keep it moving. We're gonna keep blue. What's his favorite color? There they go. See, I told you. I told you what I tell you.
Hi.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. I can't really talk because I am in the same house right now.
Oh, you want to write it down and show it to the camera? Like you said you're in the same house right now? Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Is he within earshot? Blue is the color.
Yeah. He just walked right in the room.
Okay, so this
If you want to try to put it in the chat, then it'll probably be the easiest way.
yeah. This is
I'm on Instagram Live right now.
I can't go sit down, man. So this is gonna be a little awkward right here. That was one right there, y'all. You didn't hang up. Yeah, we start off with a banger. It's always something to do. that was the warm up right there. I hope that young lady is safe, because I didn't want to, like I said, her answer any questions and him snapping, him trying to wear your earpods. Oh, my earpods? I don't have earpods, y'all. My cousin, my son has some. So does anybody else want to be on here that's in a safe setting, not in earshot? I was just joking about the writing stuff now. I didn't know he was still in the house. Yeah. Well, that was awkward. She's not about that life. She was about that life, y'all. But I'm pretty sure that she would have said something. You don't want to say something right there to the point where it comes back on her later on. You know what I mean? That's not worth it right there. Yeah. It was not the time, girl. Yeah. Do it later. I will. Green eye. Okay. I'm gonna invite another guest on here. Or you say, I feel like I need to start asking, Lee, where's your wedding ring? I'm at home. Why do you keep asking? I'll be sitting in the house like.
Hi.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. My name's Samantha.
Go sit down. Okay, go sit down.
Hi. I got my little kids in the car. I don't know if you can see it.
Nice.
Hey.
My son, my little daughter here.
Okay.
I just got off of work right now. I wanted to share my experience. Maybe this can help somebody. The father of my children passed away last May. He died by suicide in jail. So I was 17 weeks pregnant, and he strangled me until I lost consciousness. And I went to the hospital, and the next day they arrested him, and he hung himself 10 days later. So I was in a really toxic relationship for like 2 years, and it was so hard to get away from it. One, because I was afraid of doing like the 50-50 custody thing and my children going and being alone with him.
Yeah.
And two, I was trauma bonded. I was so trauma bonded, and I wanted to, you know, fix him, because he always said, I'm gonna kill myself. This is it. Wrote suicide notes. I called his family. His family was like, I'm not gonna, like, he's not gonna do it. And I said he's gonna do it, you know. And so
in jail? You said he did it in jail?
He died in jail. Yeah, he hung himself in jail. So you know, they told me that suicide goes with homicide. So when people, you know, have mental illnesses, or, you know, when I follow you guys, I see a lot of like narcissistic traits that he had, because he would always say he was going to kill himself when, like, I caught him doing something, you know, and like he was really violent, and, you know, I just stayed with it because I thought I could fix him, and, you know, clearly I couldn't. But I just wanted to share the light at the end of the tunnel. So today I have my 2 kids, and we're doing fantastic. I was doing therapy. I still do like once a week. It was twice a week. My daughter's 4 months old, and I'm a single mom all by myself. Even with the trauma, I was able to pull myself out of it. I have a lot of support groups. I watch you guys' I watch this, you know, quite often, and it helps me heal a lot. And now I just got a new job. I'm a surgical assistant. The kids are in daycare, you know.
That's awesome.
It's been a journey, but honestly, like, it made me stronger. And I just want to say, for anybody that's in a really tough situation with somebody who is dangerous, get away from that, because it is an anchor that will pull you down to the bottom. You know, you can make it out of it. I honestly believe, I know this sounds crazy, that it's harder to be in a relationship with somebody and break up with them, because there's always that what if, as opposed to somebody dying, because there is no more after that. So it makes it easier because it's the end. But you know, I just wanted to share that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I made it through. And honestly, I've become better than I ever could imagine, and better than I've ever been in my whole entire life. And, you know, I thank, you know, God for that. So, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's always super heavy when it comes to, you know, somebody unaliving themselves and things like that. So this is my personal perspective on that. Originally, I don't think he would have done that, but since he probably was going to go to jail for a long time, then that's what pushed him over the edge to do that. You know what I mean? Because he actually got caught up. He was facing the actual consequences of his actions, and decided, you know what, the easier way, you know, the easiest way for me is that light at the end of the tunnel, like you said, and he's trying to take it to heaven instead of coming home. You know, so that's what I think. You know, when it comes to a situation like, it just, most people won't do that. Like you said earlier in the relationship, he was always threatening to do it when you caught him doing things like cheating or whatever, probably putting his hands on you or whatever he was doing. You know what I mean? Whatever he was doing in the beginning, I don't think he would have took his own life, because he wasn't getting punished for that. He wasn't getting held accountable for that type of stuff. But once he was locked up and those 4 walls closing, I always look at the ceiling. Once you see that ceiling, that hard concrete floor, and you facing some time, you know what? Nah, this ain't it right here. I have no control, because jail means no control. Other people control. Other people control your time, you know, your life, your energy, what you eat, what time you go to sleep, all that type of stuff. So yeah, that was probably the easiest way out for him. Because most people, you know, would use the threat of, you know, taking their own life as emotional manipulation to get you to feel sorry for them. Like, he must really feel sorry. He's gonna take his. I don't want him to do it because of something I did. You know, you feel guilty. You know, I'm surprised people can still do that in jail, which is kind of wild nowadays. But to each his own.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything to add to that, Mr. Ben?
No, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like, that's just, I mean, I was just thinking, like, that's just a lot for you to go through. And, you know, where you are now is absolutely incredible to see, like, the journey and, like, just where you are compared to where you were before. And, you know, being able to spread, like, that idea of hope to people of, like, hey, like, once you're able to get away and get out and, like, cut free, like, that's really what changes it. And, you know, for you, you have that, you know, in a sense, clean break compared to, you know, some people that keep having that person come back for a long period of time. So not that I would wish that on anybody, but, you know, I am glad to see you seeing healing coming through that.
Yes. Yeah. I don't believe that I would have been able to be the person that I am today if, put aside everything that happened, if he was still alive, because I believe that, you know, I would have still been going in the cycle of the trauma, of the abuse, and not being able to, you know, be more than what I could be, because I would be too stressed out or too consumed in the relationship, and it would be traumatic for me and my children. So unfortunately, that's how it happened. But, you know, I decided to become better from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know with a lot of the concept of like the trauma bond and things like that happen, a lot of it is the idea of you are mourning the death of someone who's still alive, which makes it extremely difficult to actually come to terms with that. So, yeah, it's great to be able to hear your story and where you are, and I wish you guys the best.
Yeah, yay! I love it. I love seeing a glow up journey, regardless of how you get there. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah. Stay empowered for your kids, because you got them to live for. And guys,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share that.
No problem. So
absolutely, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Bye.
So, yay! That was a solid one. That first one was a little scary. I'm praying, but if you are still on the live, very first lady, I hope you are safe. Please, Lord. Did anybody else want to come on right now?
I'm in the car, safe now, so I can talk.
Is that her?
I don't know. I thought that was it. I thought it was someone else.
Is that her? I didn't see her name when I pushed the buttons.
I thought the other one was like a Jade something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just hit the button and whatnot. But yeah, so you see that stuff happening right there all the time, though, with like the whole threats of like, you know what? Since you're gonna hold me accountable, I'm gonna go take my life. You know what I mean? So you see that a lot. You heard it. So if y'all don't know, Ben does one-on-ones as well, so y'all can book him through his link in his bio and whatnot, his website, rawmotivations.com. And you hear that a lot when they threaten to take their own lives? I hear that a lot on my one-on-ones.
I would say like a decent amount. I feel like I hear it probably less than probably what you do. Sometimes with like them threatening and things like that. Sometimes it's just from what I've seen, it be more of like a manipulation than an actual action, because there's not necessarily there's no like follow through, but there's also like no like self-harm, because a lot of it is just self-preservation, and not really the aspect that they'd actually do anything like that. At least from the people that I've talked to.
Yeah, most people are scary with it. You know what I mean? So I just want everybody to be as safe as possible. I'm gonna invite somebody else back on. I think this is her again right here. Hopefully she's safe to talk. We'll see if it comes back on, though. So are you good?
I'm good, actually. So we live in the same house right now, and a lot of shit has happened. But ever since I found you, I have realized so much that he's such an awful narcissist, and I really don't know how you found help and how you changed and how you learned to cope with it or what changed you. But I also learned from you that a narcissist will not change unless they want to change, unless they, and a narcissist doesn't, I mean, you did, and your name's Lee?
Yes.
And so you guys did, but he does not, like, he has so much pride and so much, I don't know, but he'll never change. He'll never change. So it's a long story with us. I know you know want us to come in and go on off really fast so people can have their time to talk. But so he is moving. So we have this lease up until April. I'm staying until May because our oldest son, we have 2 kids together. Our oldest son is in school, and I'm like shaking. I'm like shaking right now. But okay, so our oldest son is in school, and school doesn't get out until May. And so we live in Tallahassee, and I told him that I'm staying here because I have all my support here. So I moved out of our place, and I moved and back in with my mom, and that's down south. That's like 6 hours away. And when I moved in with my mom, everything hit me like a damn brick. I went through the trauma bond like insanity. I was talking, I was like, I'm leaving, blah blah blah, like you got, you know, I'm so done with you, this is done, like I'm done. And once I left, once I got to my mom's house, I just broke down. I was bedridden. I left with my 2 kids. I left with our 2 kids. I was bedridden for 2 weeks. I couldn't hardly take care of my kid. Every single day I was dreaming about killing myself. I was making the plans in my head. I was going to let my mom watch the kids. I was going to take my car and crash my car into a tree at 90 miles per hour. I had all the plans out. I literally told my mom I was going to go on a date and I was going to go do that. And I couldn't do that because my toddler and my kid, they need me. I would never do that to them, but I was so broken. And I have never been about drugs, like pharmaceuticals, because I just am against it, you know? So I got myself out of it. I called my insurance. I changed my insurances. I changed my address. I called the doctor. I said, listen, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to hurt myself. I need to get on something right away because I have to be here for my kids. I have to take care of my kids. I have to be there for my kids. So they got me on antidepressants. I was like dying because it takes a long time for you to be taking them for them to start to work. So I was trying everything in my power to stay strong for my kids. And once they started to work, guess what? Once I started to heal, yeah. So that happened. And when I watched that video of your video, I was like, motherfucker! Like, I was like screaming at you because it was so true. And he called me back. So this whole time I was gone, he had a girlfriend, right? So he called me back. He was like, I'm going to break up with my girlfriend. I want you back. I want my family back. So I was like, motherfucker. I was just starting to heal. I was just getting happy with the help of drugs, but with antidepressants. But, you know, I was like, I don't want to, I will never stop trying to fix our marriage for the kids because my mom and dad never did that. His mom and dad never did that. His dad was a narcissist and a POS to his mom. But I just don't want to do that. You know, I feel like kids can flourish with both of their mom and dad, even though, and also, okay, people in the comments, they're saying I was his main supply. Yes, I'm an empath. And I heard that empaths are magnets for narcissists. And I don't understand why, but I do understand because of your videos, but like I just can't fathom why me. And so I came back, and like a week after I got back, he was like, oh, never mind, I don't want you back, but I want my kids 24/7. I want my kids to be there 24/7. And so I was like, well, I'm not going back to my mom's, so this is just gonna have to be the way it is. We're gonna have to live together and just deal with it until our lease ends, because I'm not going back to my mom's. And I'm not having you have another girl in our house with my name still on the lease. That's not gonna happen. And so now that our lease is coming to an end, he's saying that he's moving down there away from his kids. He knows I'm staying here because all my support is here. And he's arguing with me about him having to come up here to see his kids when he drives still 5-6 hours away to go see girls and his friends twice a month. But yet he has such a problem with coming up here and thinks it's my fault that I am holding his kids against him because I won't drive and meet him halfway, or I won't go there. When you don't have a problem when you go down there and see all your girlfriends. So why is it such a problem for you to come see your kids? Like, it's just a sad, there's no hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me personally, I just feel like, so it's different when it comes to friends and kids. So yeah, of course he's going to blame you for making him drive to see his kids because he wants his kids, right? You're the one who's fighting to not let him have his kids 24/7. So you are the obstacle. So why wouldn't he blame you? You know, like, so you are actually the obstacle that's you're making him drive. You're keeping him pretty much stationary within this, you know, within this radius to have to come see his kids and things like that. You know, but I just feel like right now, because this is a clear example of what happens like when you're on your healing journey. It's like narcissistic people have that spidey sense, like the sixth sense, when they can feel you healing. It's just like she's feeling better about herself. Let me go ahead and swing my way back into there, and, you know, come swoop you in there and just like, and that, if I hear that one more damn time that I want my family back, I'm gonna scream. I swear to God, I am. I'm just like, I want my family back. It's like just so it's such a toxic saying. I just want my family back. Like what changes to get said family back? You know, like I said, it's just like what discernible changes have they made to come back and to kind of rope you back into a relationship or whatnot to get you away from your mom's house. You know, when you say your support system is here, of course he wants you to get you away from them because your support system probably don't go back. You're like, I'm going back. I want to keep my family together. And what you said earlier also to me makes sense too, because like two parent household works better if one or either of the parents are not toxic as hell.
Yes, I know.
That comes back on the kids. Like, I'm gonna keep my family together at the you know, you might not be the toxic one, but you go back into this relationship to keep your family together. You're unhappy. Your kids can sense that. They really can. They're just like, mom's unhappy.
My oldest, we fight. I try not to fight in front of my oldest kid. He's 7. He knows, like, literally we fought 2 nights ago about tax money because he says he's not going to give me hardly any of the tax money that he gets back, but he claims me as a dependent and our kids, but my dad takes care of all of my bills, all of my half of the bills. My dad pays for everything for me. And when you claim someone as a dependent, you are saying that you're taking care of them. You're paying for their food. You're paying for their gas. You're paying for them. You're paying all the bills. You're paying for their bills. Like, no, you don't do that. My dad does. So my dad told me to go to the courthouse and do all that legal stuff. And so I did that. And then I went to the state attorney's office and they legally said that I need to go to the police station and go file a police report. Like, this is so much, but like I feel like I'm living like a soap opera. Like I'm living like a crazy life right now. Like they said that I can go do that. That's tax fraud. That's a criminal offense, and they will come and arrest him for that. And so I'm such a freaking nice person that I don't want to do that to him. I don't want to see him hurting. So I sort of had a conversation with him the other night without telling him, like, your life is in my hands pretty much right now. And I just wanted to get the feel. Huh?
Don't do that. Your life is in my hands.
Well, no, I didn't tell him that. I didn't tell him that. But I was like talking to him and like trying to see if he has any care in the world for me as the mother of his children, as a human being, not romantically, because I don't give a damn about him right now. I'm healing. I'm still healing, but I've been on and off my antidepressants that it's kind of messed with my head a lot lately. And that's something I'm working on, like remembering to take it every day, because if I don't, it just starts messing with my head and messing with my mood. And so I forgot what I was saying, but anyways, so I was talking to him and he pretty much was belittling me, degrading me the entire time, saying how shitty of a mom I am, gaslighting me. And I literally came out to have a conversation about our oldest kid, because I can tell in our oldest kid, he is beginning to be like my brother. And my brother is like bipolar, like behavioral issues, and I thought it was in his family bloodline. So I was blaming him the whole time. And yesterday I realized, no, he is exactly like my brother. So I came out and I was like, listen, we need to nip this in the butt right now. What do we do? And he was like, well, you're a piece of shit mom, because you don't let me beat him. So you call the cops when I try to beat him, so you can handle that. You can deal with however he grows up to be like. That's on you. And I was like,
and that's the person who you're sparing right there. That's the person who you're being nice to and showing.
I know. And so after that conversation, you know, it made me see a lot and what I need to do to protect myself and my kids, because he's going somewhere where he doesn't have to pay nothing, and he's leaving me to have to pay everything. And I want my kids to have nice things. My oldest kid only has 3 pairs of shoes, and they're all holes and like trash.
So now,
but if you see his closet, you're gonna see freaking thousands of pair of shoes, thousands of pair of clothes, brand new clothes that he just bought. But his kids,
yeah. So there's no need. So me personally, there's no need to even have any more conversations with him then, because he's already made it very, very clear what his priorities are in this situation, and they're not you or the kids. It's just money. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's no point in even speaking to him. So what's the whole? He's not gonna put your kids first, you know. So
and then the fact that he's like starting to play baseball with them right now, and like taking them to the park, and then up and leaving after that. Why would you do that to your kids? Like, you don't think about how that's affecting them. Like, you're choosing to leave.
I feel like how he told you how about when he just doesn't give you any money for him like that. He's claiming y'all. I feel like he's shown through his actions and things like that, though. You know, so I just feel like there's no point in talking to him, because it's already your fault. Just assume he's going to put it on you.
Oh, he has. He says it's my fault that I'm not taking the kids down there, and I'm not moving my life down there for him.
So I feel like I feel like you have your answer, though. I just feel like there's no negotiating with you. You don't negotiate with terrorists. He's an emotional terrorist for you right now.
Yeah,
so
he is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we're gonna bring on the next person right here. So just you can message Ben, you can message me. Just shoot us a message if you need anything else, okay?
Okay, thank you. And sorry to everyone that's been commenting. I have not been reading it because I've been focused. But once I get off, I'm going to be reading all the comments.
It's all good. Okay, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. I'm Red Spider-Man. So. You Red Spider-Man? That's cool, bro. That's cool, Bob. I love my V-Buds. Lordy. She's in a rough situation. Yeah. What would be your recommendation before we bring on the next person, y'all? What would be your recommendation for that woman right there after hearing her story, Ben?
I mean, a lot of times people want to hold on to hope and want to hold on to the concept that their narcissist cares or that the narcissist might care. And when you really boils down to it, a lot of times people will bring in like the kids into it saying like, oh, like I think they care about the kids, or I see them interact with the kids, or I see them do X, Y, and Z like with the kids, when in reality it has nothing to do with the kids and it has nothing to do with the empath or with the other person in the relationship. And I feel like a lot of times in those type of relationships, people get the idea that it has something to do with what they've done or their worth or anything like that, when in reality, it doesn't have anything to do with them. It has to do with, did I like freeze on your end? Oh, there we go. It doesn't have anything to do with them. It just has everything to do with the narcissist and like what they're looking at. And so that's why they'll use anything to be a means to their end. So they're interacting great with the kids. Well, yeah, that's a plan to make themselves look better. It's all about that image, all about control. And so often people get distracted by that and think that that image making and that control seeking is a bond or affection or love or anything like that. But in reality, it's just protecting that image. And you normally see it like really bad, like with kids and in like divorce situations and things like that. And you see it really bad when people are dealing with like a trauma bond because they get sucked into something that they know in their head that they should be out of, that this is abusive, this is a bad relationship. But then what they feel and what they're thinking is like, but, you know, I had this moment. I felt connected. I felt, you know, we just seemed to click. We were soul ties, you know, all this different kind of stuff that they like pull them together and start feeding them, in one sense, a bunch of lies. And I guess like that's what I try to talk to people about, like whenever I do like one-on-ones, and they're like saying like, hey, like I know I don't want to go back, but I've gone back the past 5 times. Like I've gone back like several times because of the fact that I think he's going to change. Or then I question, like, is it me? And then, you know, we have to take a look and see like, what's the actual facts of the situation, you know? And I have to ask like the hard questions when they give me kind of like a blank look, when I'm like, how did they demonstrate love? How did they demonstrate that they cared? How did they show consistent change? And they're like, they didn't show any of that. Well, you got your answer right there of how much they're invested, of how much they actually care about you, of how much they actually respect you. And so like that's something that I think is like really key for people to think through, is like that trauma bond and figuring out how to get out of it. And that's something that I know you talk to people about on one-on-ones. I talk to people about on one-on-ones. Lisa's got our course that's out there that's just super helpful, that I think we might have in our bios. Like I've got a trauma bond breaking trauma bond workshop coming up, like different things like that like help people like start to get out of these things by dealing with like the facts of the situation versus the fable that the narcissist puts in our head.
Yes. Oh, very, very eloquently said, man. I love that. You know, and that's pretty much what I do with my one-on-ones. So I just kind of lead them down the road to answering their own questions, because like I don't know the person, you don't know the person,
right? They
know them better than we do. And I say, hey, you know them better than I do. What, you know, how are they treating you? Are they treating you like they love you? You know, if you treated someone the same way that they are treating you, would you say that you love them? No. You know, it's just kind of walking down the path. Are you another person to hop on?
What's that?
You ready for another person to hop on?
Yeah, my do you have any comments? My comments stopped going, and I stopped on like viewers too.
Oh goodness, mine is still moving.
Okay. Yeah, mine says like 176 and my comments stopped.
Oh no. What's going on?
What is up with Instagram?
Oh, I did not know I was gonna get in.
What's up? What you doing?
Hey.
Well, there.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Today is the 3 months of my baby's passing, so I'm dealing, but it's good. I'm good.
I saw the video you posted. Hey, I know TikTok and Instagram, so you know, prayers for this time.
It's okay. Okay, so I know you and I had a conversation, but I did end up talking to my dad. My dad is a big person, so It did not go well. He said, "Poor me, poor me, poor me." He started getting loud with his voice. And obviously I did it in public. So because I knew I had to do it in public and like in a restaurant. If not, he would have face to face, would have like, went
Yeah.
off. I obviously it hurt me. I cried. I just don't know how else to, I know it sounds crazy, but make him love me, I guess. I don't even know what the word is. I don't know.
Yeah. So so her dad is the narcissist in her life. One of them. The main one. And he said he's like, how old is your dad now?
He's like 72.
Yeah, and he's still withholding love and affection from you like right now. I just feel like that's still tough, because you can't make him show that he loves you in the way that you think, in the way that you would express love, like in the way that like that you love your family and you love your friends and things like that. So you can't make just narcissistic people don't express love the same way that you do. It's just impossible. Like me personally, I used to think I showed love through gifts. Hey, I bought you something. Hey, my presence is love. Just like loving you being here. This not enough for you. Am I not enough? So that was my like him having a conversation with you is his way of showing you that he loves you in his own way. And that's what I tell people all the time is like narcissistic people can love, but it might not be up to the level of love that you have, that you feel for yourself and that you feel for other people. It's just like, I just, it's hard to express that for even me, what I mean? Just in my self-awareness, and, Ben can add that too, Ben can add on, his spin on that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like in terms of narcissists, like loving other people, how I've described it in the past has been like, it's hard for a narcissist to love another person when they have to get themselves out of the picture. It's like there's this block of like, I can't actually show another person love until I get out of the way of myself, because like, showing love to someone else is not me being consumed with my image, is not me being consumed with what I want, is not me manipulating other people. It's all about me. And so in reality, like whatever type of love concept that a narcissist has is normally completely skewed because of the fact that it's not about the other person, it's still about the narcissist. And until they start realizing like, hey, and acknowledging like other people's feelings and emotions and like what's going on with other people, I don't think there's that capacity to love in the same aspect.
All right. Well, my question is correct me if I'm wrong, but is there such thing as like trauma bond with your dad? I don't want it to sound weird.
Yeah, no, you could have a trauma bond. So the trauma bond isn't limited to just like a romantic partner per se.
I don't want
like the trauma bond concept is almost like the Stockholm syndrome concept. So it's the idea of being drawn back to an abuser, and that doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. That could be a friendship, that could be a parent, that could be a brother, sister, that could be anybody in one sense. But it's the idea of like, there is an abuser in the situation, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it might be. There's an abuser in the situation, and you're getting drawn back to that person, as far as like still letting them access your life, whether that's romantically or whether that's a friendship or family, and still letting them have access and control over your life.
Okay. And yeah, also somebody reminded me in the comment section I saw a few seconds ago, reminded me of something so a narcissistic person's love it comes with conditions. There are strings attached to the love. So what you're doing and you're fitting into this box that they have made for you, they love you. And did he leave? I don't know. He left. He'll be back. I think his phone messed up. But like, as long as you fit into the box of that conditional love, you get the love that you get love from them the way that they know how to love. But once you violate one of those conditions, once you upstage them, once you disrespect them or something like that, they take the love away and they withhold it from you as a form of punishment. So you in the situation like you're in right now, you end up trauma bonded to your dad, but you're trying to get him to show love for you. But he knows that you're trying to get him to show love, so he's intentionally withholding it from you, because he feel like a lot of narcissistic people have abandonment issues, so they feel like if they give you what you want, you'll leave them alone. It's just like the final goodbye. Like if I tell you that I'm proud of you, you won't need me anymore. What do you need me for now? You know, why do you, if I tell you I love you, what do you need me for? You know, so it just comes to that point right there where where you're dealing with that, where you have like, does he love you in his own way? It possibly, but it's not the way that you wish, not the way that you personally you show love. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be on even kill with how you demonstrate love to anybody else. It just isn't that way. You know, because even it's me first. It just is. That's even how my mind works. It's me first. Like how if I got to do this for you, what am I going to get for it? Oh, I got to do this every day for an hour. Am I or am I going to get the appreciation from you for it? So it's just that it really is a mind thing, you know. So I just feel like once you're in the position where you're in right now, I just feel like him even talking to you, it just feel like you have to receive it for what he gives, you know. I think him talking to you or just even having a conversation with you is him showing love for you in his weird way, you know. I think that's how, in a weird way, because some people just you get out here. A lot of narcissistic parents discard their kids. They get rid of them for good. They don't talk to them ever again. You know, they come on there, they come into their lives and they discard their own kids. They'll never talk to them again. They go move across the country. They move to a different country. They start a whole new family and leave it alone. You know, and leave them be. So I just like in that situation, in that position right there, I feel like you gotta just take that for him. It's just I know it's tough coming from your dad. You're trying to get that. I'm proud of you and I love you and I'm sorry. And I think I talked to you about that the other day. You just wanted him to take accountability for stuff he did to you growing up and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can befriend him now. He just gaslighted me.
Mm-hmm.
And just like telling me that what I remember is not correct. And anything that would tell him is like, oh, so you're coming at me like this. So what about your mom? So are you talking to your mom? Are you telling her this and that? Why are you talking to your mom when she did this? But I remember my mom, it was a reaction that she would have for what he was doing. So he remembers what she did, but he doesn't remember how he poked her to do it. But I remember my brother, you know. So I tried to explain that to him in the nicest way possible, because obviously I didn't wanted him to just tell me, you know, like, okay, yes, Cynthia, I completely.
See how you tiptoe? You have to tiptoe around him. You know what I mean? You say you have to around him to try not to violate his conditions of love for you. Like if I talk to him this way, he'll leave. He won't talk to me anymore. He'll just gaslight me. He'll just, you know, he'll blame me for whatever he's going through. You know, you had a great childhood. You're misremembering it because your mom got into your head. I say the more I talk to you, the more like I talk to a lot of people, the more and more it comes back to me. Because I think he's still obsessed with your mom. He's still angry as hell at your mom. Correct? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so he's still mad as hell at your mom. So he remembers that too, because your mom left him, and he's still pissed off at your mom too. So he's holding that, and you yourself are also an extension of your mom. So you get it too. You know. That's his way of punishing you as well, because you are also an extension of him. So it's just everybody gets it because he's unhappy. So as long as he's unhappy with himself, everybody else around him in that orbit is going to get caught up. You know.
After this, there's nothing else a different.
There's no nice way you can talk to him. I promise you. You have to go directly to him. You have to go direct. You have to go direct to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Don't just say, hey, I'm not trying to argue. Hey, I'm not trying to disrespect you. Just tell him how you feel. That's the way you do it. And let him take it the way he takes it, because like you can't be, as long as you beat around the bush, he's going to overtalk you. He's going to overrule you because he feels like he's your dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what he tells me. He's like, I'm your.
Yeah. So I say, so how do I know that? You know, because I know that's what I would say to you. I'm your dad. You owe me this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So in that situation right there, yeah. So you got to kind of, you know, it gets to that point right there where you have to, you know, I'm not telling you to just, like I said, I'm not telling you to discard your dad, but I know it is tough. You know what I mean? It really, really is. I know it's tough to deal with. Like I said, I still think, welcome back, man. There you go. I still think he's punishing you for what he did, because your mom finally discarded him, and he's unhappy with that, because that's the ultimate narcissistic rejection right there. The ultimate narcissistic injury is being. Sometimes divorce when somebody else wants to divorce a narcissist is the ultimate way of, you know, you rejected me. I don't want to be rejected. I mean, it's just like, I just feel like if I got divorced now, I'll be obsessed and angry and telling my wife. And she's like right there. I think she knows that too. Just like. But that's how it goes right there. I know it's tough. It's like, the more and more I talk, it's just kind of like, you know, it comes back to me. I remember you said he's at the parties and stuff like that, just kind of making loud comments about your mom because he harbors that anger because your mom gave him the ultimate rejection of divorce. So yeah, how dare she?
Even when we had the conversation now, he was just like, well, all I asked you was for the picture of the babies that have cats. And he wanted to send it to other people. And I'm thinking because he wanted people to feel bad for him more than anything. But I don't want my dead baby's pictures going around. And he brought that up. And then he somehow turned it to that I never really loved him. And that now he's going to die old. And that nobody cares for him. And he's like, you know what, Cynthia, I'm just telling you, okay, I'm sorry for everything. Okay, I'm just such a horrible person, but you don't remember what your mom did. I'm just a horrible person. You know what? This is your sorry. I don't know what to say. So it's like.
So can I say something right there? I told you. So I always say this right here. If you listen to them talk, they tell you their greatest fears. They tell you exactly what they're thinking. You see, he just told you his greatest fear was dying alone and being forgotten and feeling unneeded and unwanted in that situation right there. So that's why he's not going to give anybody around him what they want from him, because he feels like if he gives it to you, you won't need him anymore. So I feel like he just told you his greatest fear by saying that type of stuff right there. I'm just going to be old and stuff like that. Oh, you are? What's the fear? Why are you so scared of being old and alone? He thought he was going to get to torture your mom for the rest of her life, you know? But she left, so he's angry as hell at that because he's 72 years old. Who's going to marry a 72-year-old person? You know, unless they're 72 years old as well, wanting somebody to ride out the golden years. You know.
But what if you want with kids that are there with him and just being next to him and forgiving the past and just like, just focusing on the future and on not the future at the moment and have just good times. Like I just don't understand it. I understand it with partners, like whatever, like I was able to move on with my ex narcissist or whatever, but with dad, like that's your kid. I could never do that to my son, So,
you can't see yourself doing that because that's not how you see. You got every bit of love that people had. You got all the love and stuff like that. You became an empath person from the abuse and trauma that you experienced. He didn't. I remember you telling me about this child. He didn't get that. He's guarded. He's super guarded and things like that. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah. How about boy? You get ready to go to bed. School night. Okay.
Yeah, it can be really difficult, especially like when you're expecting that person to give you love back and to show that love when in reality, like they're not looking at it from that perspective. Like you could never do that to, your son, your daughter kind of a thing. But the fact is like, him at this point, like acknowledging is like the biggest thing, like acknowledging what's happened and acknowledging what's been done and trying to forgive, make amends, and continue on life how it is now. The problem is for the narcissist, acknowledging all that means that they have to have accountability and be honest about what's actually happened. And that goes against their ego. That goes against their image. And ultimately, that's like one of the biggest things that a narcissist is trying to protect and trying to control nonstop. And so it actually saying like, hey, I've done these things, or trying to ask for forgiveness means that they did something wrong.
Yeah, but I'm his daughter. Like I will forgive him.
His
image is more important than you.
Yeah. To himself, yes, yeah. If you say, so he just said that right there. Yeah, but it's tough to hear. But like I said, I just feel like when you take that in right there, when you understand that fact, because like just the thought of coming clean with all the stuff that he put you through would probably destroy that man's ego and make him just it would just destroy him at his core, because he knows what he's did. That's why he gaslights you and tells you you misremembering and things like that, because he knows what he did, and if he tells you that, if he admits that out of his mouth, that will be the end of that man. They will. It just will. I know they'll be the end of me just coming out of my mouth.
I was gonna say a narcissist like self-sabotaging their own ego or image, like literally is like the worst thing in their minds a lot of times, because that image is paramount to who they are and who they're hiding underneath.
Yeah. You hurt my feelings.
No, because what he said, yeah, it's not. He doesn't care about you. It's just like I tell you, when be first, it just is me, kids, wife, whoever. It's me first. Image, ego, whatever. It comes before everybody else. Yeah. It really does. So it's not a slight on you and your own worth or your value. It's just him. I'm telling you. You got to take it off of you, because I feel like you blame yourself for how he treats you. There's nothing you can do to make him happy.
It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, you're probably doing better you're probably doing better in life. I think you said he has some money or something like that, but you're probably doing better emotionally than he is. So I think he's also jealous of you, of the person you became too. So it's a rough. It is dealing with it is a rough experience. It's different because we're dealing with a narcissistic parent, because you can choose, like you said, you can choose your significant others. You can pick your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. You can't pick Papa. You can't pick that person. You can't pick your mama. Your mom, like I said, she's dealing with it in grace and class at those parties, when she's just ignoring him when he's making those little subtle insults to her, things like that, But that's the she said. I said I feel disgusted. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, the ego comes first. That's why when you slight a narcissist, when you criticize them, that's why you get attacked, regardless of what role you play in their life, wife, husband, kids, whatever comes next. Like ego is ego first, and then everything else falls under the hierarchy of narcissistic abuse. Yeah, protect myself first. Again, yeah. It's a rough switch. It really, really is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, then.
All right, you can message me anytime. You can shoot me a message anytime. You know what I mean? We're mutuals on here. Like I said, you got message if you need anything else, okay? And look, pray for the babies. I know it's like that's rough. Cause I saw the video. I don't get sad a lot, but I seen that. I was like, God damn it, you took my last little bit of emotion from me today. I was like, okay. Give the love to yourself that your dad should be giving you right now. Just promise you. You got it though. I promise you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. But be blessed.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
How do you go off?
Yeah.
I did a one-on-one with her the other day. So I remember her story. I talked to so many people, and it's just like, I was like, I know her, but then the story started coming into you and things like that. Can you see the comments and stuff now? Did it come back?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I don't know, Instagram. Yeah. I don't go live on Instagram a lot because it does stuff like that. It'll freeze up. People text you and the whole screen freeze up.
Yeah, it was like glitchy for a while. It stopped like the viewers and it stopped the comments, and then when I went out, it wouldn't let me get back in until like you requested me.
I had to go through that. It's like 100 some people that had to scroll. I was scrolling through it while I was trying to listen to her. I was like,
yeah,
gracious, not mine, soften up. So I think about so much of the time, y'all. We're gonna have one more guest on here, y'all, to share. If anybody wants to share a little bit and ask a few questions.
Yeah, it kind of made me think of this one quote that I was reading today. Is on lines of talking about narcissists, and it said like, narcissists do not feel like the world is safe, and they're more threatened by what is hidden within. And then this one guy has a quote inside a quote. Terrence Real writes, "Too often the wounded boy grows up to become a wounding man, inflicting upon those closest to him the very distress he refuses to acknowledge himself within."
It's solid. The first one I was like, man, but there's truth to that though. Because I really do truly feel like the world is not a safe place.
Right.
I don't. I just feel like I'm always trying to protect myself. Just like I said, her dad is trying to protect himself against his daughter. That he thinks is going to outshine him for some reason. It is wild.
But yeah, I think because I sent you that one quote today. I don't remember where that was, but that was like some crazy deep quote as far as like, often like what the narcissist is scared of is just like another broken person that wants love or something like that. I don't remember. It's like
yeah. From the book you read, was it from the book?
Yeah. But
yeah.
It was like a crazy. I need to find that, but that was like a crazy quote.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna randomly select the next person, y'all.
Do you just have a bunch of requests on your end?
Yeah, I was just scrolling through them. I probably the first thing that popped up because it's a lot. Oh, what's up? Hey.
Hi.
Hey there.
How are you guys?
What's going on?
Doing well.
Good. Okay, so my question is, okay, so what happened in your guys' life, I guess, where you were like, oh shit, I'm a narcissist? Like, what came about for you guys to realize that in order to become self-aware?
Thinking like 100 different things. No, like really, like I did a video not too long ago on YouTube that says self-aware narcissist that kind of like walks through like a bunch of stuff, because there wasn't one moment, there wasn't a light bulb moment, and there wasn't a rock bottom that I hit that all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm a narcissist. It was literally like a slow reveal. It's like a dimmer switch, put it that way. Like it slowly turned on over a period of time until finally it's like glaring right there in my face, and I'm getting the same information, I'm getting the same stuff thrown back at me from another person with narcissistic traits, and realize like, oh, like this actually does resonate with me. So like for me, it started with like personality tests. It started with working with teams. It says like I connect differently, I empathize differently, or don't empathize. Like my emotions are different, like tears, like all that kind of stuff. Like everything is just like completely different. Start into marriage thinking that's going to fix me, thinking that's going to change, and it doesn't. My cycle just keeps going. I start to think like maybe I'm just cursed, like what's going on, like this is just going to happen like every 2 years or whatever, like I'm going to be stuck in this cycle forever. Really get like fed up with it. Go through a group called Wake Up Warrior that really the premise of it is to stop fucking lying and to be a man, and start to deal with some of the lies that I did in my life, between myself, between my wife, between God, between work, like friends, everything. And then really started kind of down a journey of like, what the heck is going on? And my like small like moment of clarity was like when I was like standing in the kitchen and I asked my wife, I was like, I don't know like what the hell's wrong with me. I was like, maybe I'm a sociopath. And we like looked it up, and she was like, no, like she's like, I think you're a narcissist. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I turned around. I remember this distinctly. I turned around, I went out, and I made sure to tell my other supplies, people I was cheating on, and friends about how Kayla thought I was a narcissist, and get them on my side so they could go back and tell her that I wasn't a narcissist. And then as I got involved with a girl who had BPD and narcissistic traits and saw a lot of that reflected, it put back in mind of, the list of traits that I read with narcissism. And I'm like, I knew when I read it, I was like, I match up to these, but I couldn't, in that moment, I couldn't acknowledge it. I couldn't say that because that would show weakness, that would hurt my image, all this kind of stuff. But then as I started seeing it reflected back to me from someone else, it started becoming more apparent. And then, from the time I like kind of, I guess, sort of acknowledged it to the time I got into therapy, it was maybe like 6 months or so, and then like got into a different therapist now that I'm with that deals directly with that kind of stuff, and that's been a huge help as well.
Nice. Awesome.
Mine is best of a nutshell as I have.
Sorry, I was
it's your turn.
Yeah, sorry. So mine was more of, like I said, it's not one. I talk about rock bottom from like a cumulative like perspective. So my kind of awakening came very similar to Ben's whatnot. So me and my wife is super arguing one night. You know what I mean? Because my whole entire life, I'm 36 years old. So for the first 32 odd years, I've always felt just different. Like I didn't fit in. I've been super ambitious and to a fault. I was just cut off all my friends. I'm grinding. Y'all not on the same level as me type stuff. So I ain't have a lot of friends. Family members I rarely saw. I'm doing 25 things at once, but nothing is clicking totally. I'm just doing stuff to stay busy. My mind is super busy and things like that. So one night, I wasn't where I was financially, mentally, emotionally, none of that type of stuff. None of that stuff was working for me, So it got to the point where I would just, one night, my wife had went to work, and I was in here yelling at my, how was he, 6-month-old son, blaming him for my failures in life because I didn't have time to chase my dreams. I had to change diapers and shit, So it got to that point right there, and she just so happened to come home and hear me yelling at him. We got into a huge argument, and then she called me. She's like, "What's so hard living with a damn narcissist?" I was just like, Narcissist, like what the heck? You're a damn narcissist, because you know back then this is 2017. So I was just thinking narcissist is like, you know, conceited and cocky and things like that. I didn't think it didn't carry the meaning for me as it did now. So I threw it back at it. I was like, you're a damn narcissist. You might as well, like, it takes me, you know, I do a lot of good work for people. You know, I'm ambitious. I help people. I motivate people. Whatever it takes you. You know, what do you? You know, I'm talking shit. It's just like it takes you, you know, 8 hours to get ready to do nothing. Yeah, I was just talking. You know, right. So she left. And I just thought, why the hell did she call me that? You know, so I'm inquisitive, so I looked it up, and then you get on Google, don't type in narcissist. You know, it just said off the rip, you know, off the rip. Personality disorder. I'm like, the hell? Huh? So I look into it, you know, I was like, wow. Like, this sound like it. So for a lot of people, when you read that stuff, all that negative stuff about the traits of narcissism, when you read it, it brings you down. But for me, it was answering the questions that I've always been asking myself. It brought clarity to me, you know, because I was asking myself why I felt different. Why was this going on? Why was I doing this? Why was I not in control of my life? I felt like I felt everything was out of my control. I was trying to control too much stuff. So it just came to the point where I was just like, this provided me the answer. Of course, nobody wants to be a narcissist. Nobody's just like, yay, I'm a narcissist. You know, it's just like, damn. I get this, and I need to ask her that she says everything. She might actually have the text message I sent her when she was gone. I was like, damn, I am a narcissist. This is, again, 2017. So I'm just like, damn. And I look it up, like, what's the cure? What can I do? It's like, no cure. I'm like, oh, yikes, yeah. You know.
Yeah. I think my ex-boyfriend, who was a narcissist, I think what your story was. I think that kind of relates to him, where you think he was asking all those questions, trying to figure it out, but there was addiction involved, drugs and alcohol, severe. So that obviously never helped. But yeah, I didn't even know anything about narcissism either until I came across you, which we kind of talked about in 2020. Had no idea. And then I can start, my mom's a narcissist, I realize now. Wow. Never knew that, but you know, I was able to associate all of that once I, you know, was educated on narcissism. So,
yeah, education is key though, because like once you get into your adult life, and sometimes you see your relationships reflect your upbringing. You know, because like I tell people this, like sometimes your relationship feels like home. It feels like what you grew up around. Like my mom is a narcissist, so of course I ended up with a boyfriend that's a narcissist. You know. Well, my dad was a narcissist, so I ended up with a girlfriend that acts just like my dad. It's subconscious stuff like that. And somebody touched on this earlier. They said narcissists are attracted to empaths. Ben said he ended up with a borderline narcissistic woman. Like, I don't think narcissistic people are like, there's not a pheromone that empaths release that attract narcissists. It's just like, if you talk to somebody, y'all both have mutual interest in each other, who you are determines the direction of the relationship goes in. So if you just happen to be an empath that I meet, then you're gonna have the empath narcissist dynamic. Like you have to be a borderline that Ben meets. You're gonna have the narcissist borderline dynamic, which is, you know, you're gonna get that.
Would you say at times it might not be if they're empaths or not, but it might be their boundaries?
Yeah. I would say that for sure. For sure. From what I've seen, even for myself personally, even like I look back at like my period of time when I was with a narcissist and, you know, who I even am today, I think at 100%, I was talking about this in my podcast, has to do with a lack of self-love and boundaries, essentially. For me, you know, not being able to walk away from that. Because then once you don't have any boundaries, you know, you fall into that cycle quickly, and then, you know, it becomes that addiction in your brain, the highs and the lows. So
yeah, I guess like I was kind of thinking like along the lines of like boundaries of like people will be like, you know, oh, they're attracted to empaths or stuff like that. Like, no, they're attracted to people who don't have solid boundaries, and they're also attracted to people who do have solid boundaries. So I can't say it like a concrete thing, you know, because it literally is like there's a narcissist talking on both sides of the mouth. Like literally is both things, you know, because it either appears to me as being a challenge or it appears to me as being an easy mark. Like if you show up and you're infatuated with me and you don't have boundaries to be able to keep me at bay, then that means I can control and manipulate you. But if you show up and you have strong boundaries, then that might either push me away of like, oh, okay, well, that's not worth my time, or okay, I'll bet. Let's see what we can do. You know, because there's that game, that push and pull of like what can actually happen. But I think like some of it goes back to the concept of boundaries versus someone being empathetic or not, because it could be anybody in one sense.
Yeah, that's how it goes right there, though. You know what I mean? So you get tired of with a narcissistic person, it's a rough ride. I promise. I promise. You know. But so honestly, some narcissistic people like toxic shit. So if you just happen to be an empath that puts up with a lot of shit, or a borderline person, you might be in for a wild ride with a narcissist. I promise you, because that's how that's the role of it right there. You know?
Some are addicted to like the negative supply, like the negative attention, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. You get a high from the bad stuff. For real.
Absolutely.
It is a wild ride, y'all. Yeah. It is. Isn't an empath a person without boundaries? So I just look in the comment section. I've sent a lot of comments in it, whatnot.
Yeah, I lost my comments again.
Again?
Yeah.
Instagram is
dumb.
Y'all. Instagram is super tripping, y'all. So yeah. But Chloe, thank you for hopping on here. I gotta put my son to sleep. It is bedtime. It's a school night, y'all. So we're gonna do this again. Me and Ben, we're gonna do this again next week sometime. We'll set it up. We'll be better organized next weck, y'all. We're testing the waters right here. We're testing the social media boundaries. So who's gonna accept this better? Yeah.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you. But listen, if y'all are looking to check out Ben's stuff, Ben is he has a website, rawmotivations.com. He does one-on-ones. Y'all say he has a lot of good stuff on his page. So if y'all don't follow Ben, check Ben.
I guess I should shout out real quick because brand new. I told you about it today, but like nobody really else knows. But yeah, my wife just finally released a couple hours that she's gonna start doing one-on-ones with people. So that's kind of crazy. Was not expecting that, but it's been something she's been thinking about for the past like 3 months, and finally came out with it. So that's on the link in my bio too. A bunch of people have been expressing interest if they want to talk to the wife of a narcissist. Well, she finally decided to put it out there.
Hey, there you go. So you can book to talk to Ben's wife as well on his site right there. So check out Raw Motivations on rawmotivations.com, Raw Motivations on Instagram, TikTok. He has a YouTube channel, y'all. He does both videos every day. Super consistent. Has videos on Facebook and stuff like that too. So you can't get away from Ben Taylor. He's everywhere too, y'all. So I don't know if he's on Twitter. You tweet?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, I tweet a little bit. I share my YouTube videos on Twitter. Those are my tweets.
Yeah, no, I haven't gone over to that.
Yeah,
I got enough going on right now.
I searched myself on Twitter before as I found people talking shit. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what I do?
You're a narcissist. That's the problem.
Yeah, that black narcissist with those dreads, he breathed today on social media, and I hate him. I was like, what? I didn't do nothing. But again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode, y'all. We're gonna post. If y'all missed it, we're gonna post this on YouTube channel. It takes a while to download for me for some reason.
Instagram is just funky with downloads.
Yeah, it really is, y'all. So I'm gonna post this, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out Ben Taylor on Motivations. And good night, y'all. Thank y'all.
See ya.